You people always think you can talk your way out of anything, don't you? Judge Robert Harrison leaned back in his leather chair, looking down at the 16-year-old black girl like she was dirt on his shoe. His silver Rolex caught the light as he waved his hand dismissively. This is my courtroom. I've been on this bench for 30 years. Do you know how much my time costs? And you want to waste it playing lawyer? Scattered laughter from the prosecution side. A few people pulled out their phones to record. Zara Williams stood perfectly still, her voice quiet. Your Honor, I just want to defend my father. I have the legal right. Legal right. Harrison's lip curled. Sweetheart, go back to school. Let the grown-ups handle this. Bailiff, remove her. The bailiff stepped forward. Zara didn't move. State Bar Rule 3.03, Your Honor. I'm invoking it right now. The smile disappeared from Harrison's face. Have you ever had someone look at you like you were nothing and knew you had to prove them wrong? 72 hours earlier. The Williams family apartment was small but immaculate. Peeling paint on the walls, but every surface spotless. Law books stacked on the kitchen table next to a half-empty bottle of asthma medication. Zara Williams, 16 years old, stood at the stove making breakfast. Her 9-year-old brother Khalil sat wheezing at the table, inhaler in hand. She'd been doing this every morning for 3 years, ever since their mother died. Honor student, debate team captain, Harvard law application already submitted. Her father, Marcus, sat reviewing bills, his mechanic's hands moving slowly through the stack. 42, but looked older. 20 years running Williams & Son Repairs. Honest work. Fair prices. Never a complaint. The radio played in the background. Local business owner accused in auto theft scheme. Marcus Williams was found in possession of 3 stolen vehicles worth over $60,000. Marcus's coffee cup froze halfway to his mouth. The phone rang. 30 minutes later, Zara stood outside her father's shop watching police cars surround the building. Flashing lights, yellow tape, neighbors recording on their phones. Detective Brennan, white, mid-40s, cold eyes, led Marcus out in handcuffs. I bought those cars legally. Marcus's voice cracked. I have the titles. Sure you did. Brennan's smirk was ugly. We'll let Judge Harrison sort it out. He loves your kind of cases. The way he said your kind. Even Mr. Carter from the shop next door shook his head doubtfully. And Mr. Carter had known Marcus for 15 years. Zara felt something break inside her chest. At the county jail consultation room, Marcus sat across from his public defender. James Porter was 30-something, coffee-stained tie, eyes that hadn't seen sleep in months. He had 87 active cases. Porter flipped through the file without looking up. Mr. Williams, they have VINs matching stolen vehicles. Prosecutors offering 18 months. Take it. I didn't steal anything. I bought them from a guy named Jackson at an auction. Receipt? Business card? Cash deal. He had all the paperwork. Porter sighed, that exhausted sound of someone who'd lost before he started. Judge Harrison handles these cases. He's very strict, especially in election years. Without proof, you're looking at a 5-year minimum if we lose at trial. Zara noticed Porter's notes. The margin where he'd already written, please, 18 months. The missing witness statements. The coffee stains cover half the page. This man had already given up. What if we can prove the sales were legitimate? Zara asked. Porter looked at her, kind but hopeless. Sweetheart, that takes resources we don't have. Trials in 3 days. This is your father's best option. Marcus turned to Zara. She saw something she'd never seen in his eyes before. Defeat. Baby girl, I need you to take care of Khalil. You stay with Aunt Patricia. You finish school. You go to Harvard like your mama wanted. Promise me. His voice broke on the last words. Zara stared at her father through the plexiglass, at the public defender who'd quit before fighting, at the system that had already decided her father was guilty because of the color of his skin and the neighborhood where he lived. "You're not going away, Dad." When Porter left the room, she took the file folder, photographed every page with her phone, every document, every piece of so-called evidence. Outside the jail, she stood in the parking lot, alone, the autumn wind cold against her face. If the system wouldn't fight for her father, she would do it herself. She pulled out her phone and searched. How to defend someone in court. Khalil called. "Zara, where are you? I can't find my inhaler. She closed her eyes. Her little brother needed medicine. Her father needed a lawyer. Her family needed money they didn't have. And she was 16 years old with a smartphone and 3 days. But her mother's voice echoed in her memory from those final hospital days. "You're going to be somebody, baby. You're going to change things." Zara looked back at the jail building, at the tiny window where she knew her father sat in a cell. "Okay, Mama," she whispered. "Let's change things." She opened her phone again and typed, "Criminal defense lawyers near me." The first result made her stop. Professor Jamal Malik, retired civil rights attorney, community legal advocacy. Retired. That meant he might have time. She took a breath and dialed the number. Zara sat in her bedroom that night, laptop glowing in the darkness. Khalil slept across from her, breathing raspy. She'd been researching for hours. She typed, "Judge Robert Harrison. 30 years on the bench. Tough on crime reputation. Campaign donor list. Police union, district attorney's office." She found a news article from 6 months ago. Judge Harrison sends message. Auto theft ring crackdown. His quote, "I won't let criminals use ignorance as an excuse. These people think they can steal and claim they didn't know. Not in my courtroom." These people. She found video footage. Harrison sentencing another black defendant. The man's mother sobbing in the gallery. "Your kind thinks you can con the system. 5 years. Your kind." Zara made a spreadsheet. Court records were public. 47 defendants in 3 years. 41 involved Detective Brennan. 39 convictions. Average sentence, 4.2 years. State average, 1.1 years. 44 defendants were people of color, all represented by public defenders, all convicted. This wasn't justice. This was a machine. Morning came. Zara walked to school. Mrs. Patterson, who used to babysit her, stood on her porch. Zara waved. Mrs. Patterson looked away. "Mrs. Patterson?" The old woman hesitated. "Your poor father. I always wondered how he afforded that shop expansion. He saved for years." "Mm-hmm." She walked away. Even her own neighbors had decided. At school, whispers followed her. Jasmine, her debate partner, her best friend since 6th grade, caught her at her locker. "Zara, my mom says I shouldn't be seen with you right now." "Jazz, my dad didn't do anything." "I know, but my mom's worried about how it looks." Jasmine walked away. The principal called her in during the 3rd period. "Zara, we need to discuss your scholarship application. This situation has created concerns. Harvard values character. The recommendation letter I was writing." He trailed off. Her Harvard dream. Disappearing. "Mr. Hendricks, he's innocent." "I'm sure. But perception matters. Let's revisit this once everything is resolved. After her father was convicted. After her future was destroyed." She left school early. At Mr. Carter's corner store, she tried to pick up Khalil's asthma medication. "I'm sorry, Zara. I can't extend credit. Not until your father's situation is cleared up. Khalil needs his medicine. I have my own family to think about." The prescription cost $240. The shop's account was frozen. She put it back and left. 6 days until Khalil's inhaler ran out. When she got home, an eviction notice was taped to the door. 30 days to pay or vacate. Her father's imprisonment would make it immediate. She sat on the steps, head in hands. Khalil found her. "Zara, are we going to be okay?" She wiped her face quickly. "Yeah, baby, I promise." She went to the library. Ms. Rodriguez found her surrounded by law books. Criminal defense procedure? That's ambitious. I don't have a choice. There's a man who volunteers here, Professor Malik. Used to be a lawyer. A very good one. Used to be? Disbarred 20 years ago. But he knows more about law than anyone. 2 hours later, Professor Jamal Malik walked in. 70 years old, gray hair, eyes that had seen too much. He sat and opened Marcus's file. "Harrison." His voice was quiet. "I know him. Worked with his father in the 70s, back when they still wore the hoods openly. Can you help?" "I'm disbarred. I can't step in that courtroom." "Then teach me." He stared at her. "Harrison will eat you alive. He'll humiliate you." "He's already eating my father alive." Malik smiled. Sad. Proud. "You've got 72 hours. I can teach you everything. But that courtroom is Harrison's kingdom. Kings don't give up thrones willingly." "I'm not asking him to give it up. I'm asking him to do his job." He pulled out books. "Then we start now." That night at 2 a.m., Khalil woke up gasping. His inhaler was empty. Zara called 911. Emergency room. 3-hour wait. Nebulizer treatment. Bill. $2,400. No insurance. A social worker pulled Zara aside. "If you can't provide stable housing and medical care, we may need to contact child services." Child services could take Khalil. Zara sat in the bathroom alone and punched the mirror. It didn't break. Her knuckles bled. She opened her mouth to scream. No sound came. The tears came. Silent. Violent. The door opened. Professor Malik stood there. He sat beside her on the cold floor, silent for 5 minutes. "My daughter was about your age," he finally said. "Police shot her. Said she matched a description. She was holding a candy bar they thought was a gun." Zara looked at him. "I became a lawyer to stop that from happening to others. They disbarred me for being too aggressive, too unwilling to play their game." He stood. "Don't be sorry. Be angry. Then turn that anger into something they can't ignore. You want to know why I agreed to teach you? You remind me of her. I couldn't save her, but maybe I can help you save him." Khalil appeared, medicated, groggy. "Did you fix it yet?" Zara wiped her face. "Not yet, baby, but I will." Outside, Professor Malik opened his car trunk. Inside were boxes of legal textbooks, case files, trial transcripts. "We have 72 hours to turn you into someone Harrison can't dismiss. Someone who speaks his language better than he does." "Can it be done?" Malik looked at her. Really looked at her. "I don't know. But 20 years ago I gave up fighting. You're giving me one more chance. So we're going to try." They drove to his apartment. Walls covered in legal books, civil rights photos, quotes from Martin Luther King Jr. "First lesson," Malik said. "Forget everything you've seen on TV. Real court is chess, not boxing. You don't win by being loud. You win by being precise." He handed her a book. "Read chapters 3 through 7. Then we drill the courtroom procedure until you can do it in your sleep." Zara opened the book. Her eyes were burning from exhaustion, her knuckles still bleeding from the mirror, her heart breaking from watching her world collapse. But she read. Because her father was counting on her. Because Khalil needed her. Because 47 other families deserved justice. Because her mother's voice still echoed. "You're going to change things." And because Professor Malik was giving her the tools to do it. The clock read 3 a.m., 72 hours until trial. She started reading. The next 72 hours blurred into a single continuous nightmare of coffee, law books, and Professor Malik's relentless voice. Hour 1. Malik put a stack of books on the table. Basic courtroom procedure. How to address the court. How to stand. How to object. You think it's simple until you're standing there and Harrison's staring you down like you're an insect. Hour 5. Objection types. Hearsay, relevance, speculation, leading the witness. You need to know these in your sleep. When to use them, when not to. A bad objection makes you look stupid. Silence when you should object makes you look weak. Hour 12. Zara's eyes burned. Malik slapped the table. Again. Define hearsay. An out-of-court statement offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Exceptions? Present sense impression. Excited utterance. Statement against interest. Good. Again. Hour 18. Role play. Malik played Judge Harrison. He was terrifyingly good at it. Ms. Williams, are you wasting my time? Zara stood straighter. No, Your Honor. I'm exercising my client's constitutional right to— Wrong. Malik broke character. You're apologizing with your tone. He'll smell weakness. Again, confident, like you belong there. They did it 40 times. Hour 24. Cross-examination technique. You never ask a question you don't know the answer to. You lead them where you want them to go. Make them say what helps your case in their own words. Zara practiced on hypothetical witnesses until her voice went hoarse. Hour 30. Malik made her watch every video of Judge Harrison they could find. Study him, his patterns, his tells. They counted. Harrison interrupted women 3 times more than men. He sustained prosecution objections 85% of the time. Before harsh rulings, he always said, "I've been very patient." He hated long arguments. He's predictable, Malik said. That's his weakness. He thinks his patterns are authority. They're actually vulnerable. Hour 40. Building the defense. Zara mapped everything on Malik's wall. Red string connecting dates, names, places. When did Marcus buy the cars? May 30th at county auction. When were they reported stolen? June 15th, July 2nd, July 20th. The cars were sold before they were stolen. So how did they end up matching stolen vehicle reports? Zara asked. Malik stared at the timeline. Someone filed false reports, made it look like earlier thefts, framed the buyers. But why? Insurance fraud. Someone reports a car stolen. Insurance pays out. Car's already been sold to someone like your father. Police recover it. Original owner gets money. Buyer gets arrested. Officer looks like a hero. Detective Brennan. Maybe. But we need proof. Hour 55. Malik found the loophole. State statute buried in subsection 4B. Minors with extraordinary circumstance and attorney supervision could provide limited representation. I can file as a consulting advisor. Even though I'm disbarred, I can supervise you. It's a technicality. Harrison will hate it. But it's legal. Hour 68. Zara stood in front of Malik's mirror, wearing her mother's old blazer. The sleeves were too long. She looked like a child playing dress-up. Your mama would be proud, Malik said quietly. Will this work? I don't know. But you're going to walk in there and act like it will. Confidence isn't about knowing you'll win. It's about refusing to act like you'll lose. Hour 72. Dawn. Trial day. But first, they needed evidence. Malik drove them to the county auto auction. The clerk recognized the Vians immediately. Yeah, Jackson used to broker here. Stopped showing up about 8 months ago. Do you have records? The clerk pulled files. 3 cars. Sale dates all before the theft reports. Wait, the clerk frowned. These VINs were reported stolen after Jackson sold them. That's weird. How weird? Like someone re-VINed newer thefts to match older sales. Someone's running a frame job. Malik and Zara exchanged looks. Next stop, public records. Detective Brennan's arrest statistics. 90% arrest rate on auto theft, but only a 40% conviction rate. Many cases dismissed for evidence irregularities. He's sloppy, Malik said. Or he only goes after people who can't afford to fight back. Zara pulled up social media, searched Robert Jackson Jr., found him. Photos of Jackson with Detective Brennan at a police union fundraiser. Jackson's LinkedIn, former police impound lot employee. Fired 9 months ago for inventory discrepancies. The pieces clicked together. Jackson steals cars from impound, sells them to buyers like Marcus, reports them stolen after the sale. Brennan recovers them. Jackson and Brennan split insurance payouts. Buyers get arrested. Can't prove legitimate purchase. It's a system, Zara whispered. My father wasn't the first. And he won't be the last unless we stop it. Where's Jackson now? Probably fled. Nevada, maybe. So we have no witness, no hard proof linking Brennan. Malik looked at the evidence spread across his car hood. Auction records, timeline discrepancies, social media photos. We have reasonable doubt. We make the prosecutor defend a timeline that doesn't make sense. We make Brennan look incompetent or corrupt, and we pray Harrison cares more about his reputation than his friendship with Brennan. That's it? That's the plan? That's the plan. They drove to the jail for one last meeting with Marcus. He looked smaller somehow. The orange jumpsuit hung loose. 3 days in jail had aged him. Baby, you don't have to do this. I can take the plea. 18 months. You and Khalil stay with Aunt Patricia. You go to Harvard. 2 years, Dad. Khalil needs you. I need you. You need your future, not to throw it away defending me. Zara opened her briefcase, showed him everything, the auction records, the timeline, the Jackson-Brennan connection. Marcus stared at the papers. His hands started shaking. They set me up. Yeah. And tomorrow we prove it. Marcus began to cry, 42 years old, crying like a child. Your mama always said you were going to change the world. I just didn't think it'd start with saving me. They held hands through the plexiglass separator. You saved me every day of my life, Dad. Tomorrow is just payback. The guard called time. Marcus stood slowly. Zara, win or lose, I'm proud of you. You know that, right? I know. Your mama's watching. She's so proud, too. Zara couldn't speak, just nodded. She walked out into the night. The courthouse silhouette loomed in the distance, dark against the city lights. Malik waited by the car. You ready? Zara looked at the courthouse, thought about Harrison's smug face, Brennan's smirk, the 47 families destroyed by this system. Her father is in that cell, Khalil at home with an inhaler running on fumes. She thought about her mother's last words. Change things. No, she said honestly. But let's do it anyway. They drove toward the courthouse. The sun was rising. Trial began in 2 hours. Zara Williams, 16 years old, was about to walk into Judge Harrison's kingdom and challenge a king. 7 a.m. Courthouse steps. Zara and Malik arrived early, the building still quiet. Zara reviewed her notes one last time, hands trembling despite the coffee. Malik went to get more caffeine. They had 90 minutes. Footsteps behind her. James Porter, the public defender, walked up the steps. He looked worse than before, eyes red, suit more wrinkled. Zara, I heard what you're trying to do. I'm not backing down. I'm not asking you to. He pulled a manila folder from his briefcase. I'm giving you this. She took it. What is it? I've been tracking Judge Harrison's cases for 3 years. Thought I was paranoid. Thought I was seeing patterns that weren't there. His voice was quiet, ashamed. But you noticed it too. So maybe I'm not crazy. Zara opened the folder. A spreadsheet, detailed, meticulous. 47 defendants over 3 years, 41 involving Detective Brennan, 39 convictions. Average sentence 400% higher than state average, 94% defendants of color. Why didn't you use this? Zara asked. Porter looked away. Against a sitting judge? I'd be disbarred, blacklisted. I have student loans, a mortgage, a kid starting college next year. He paused. I took the coward's way. I told myself one lawyer can't change the system. I convinced myself I was helping people by getting them plea deals instead of worse sentences. You were helping them. No, I was helping myself sleep at night. He looked at her. But you're brave enough to do what I couldn't. So take it. Use it. Burn the whole thing down if you have to. Zara flipped to the last page. Porter's handwritten notes. Harrison re-election campaign. $340,000 from police union. Donation date circled in red. The same week the auto theft crackdown began. A newspaper clipping stapled to the page. Judge Harrison, tough on crime pays off, leads in polls. Malik appeared with coffee, saw the folder. He read over Zara's shoulder. He's not convicting criminals, Malik said quietly. He's convincing campaign ads. Porter nodded. Every high-profile conviction is a talking point. Every harsh sentence is a press release. He's building a re-election platform for people's lives. Can we use this in court? Zara asked. Not directly, Malik said. He'll shut you down for attacking the bench. Contempt. Mistrial. He'll bury you. Then what good is it? You make Brennan reveal it. You ask questions that force him to defend impossible timelines. When the jury sees the pattern, you connect it to Harrison's incentive without saying his name. Porter checked his watch. I have to go. Another client. Another plea deal. He looked at Zara one more time. Good luck. And I'm sorry. For all of us who should have fought and didn't. He walked away. Zara and Malik sat on the courthouse steps, the folder between them. This changes everything, Zara said. This changes nothing unless you can get it on record. And Harrison will fight you every step. So what do we do? Malik was quiet for a moment. We make him choose between protecting Brennan and protecting his reputation. We back him into a corner where either choice exposes him. And if he shuts me down before I can finish, then you make a record anyway. You speak truth even if he silences it. Sometimes that's all we can do. Zara looked at her reflection in the courthouse glass doors. Young, black, female, wearing a blazer 2 sizes too big. Everything about her screamed, doesn't belong here. But she had something they didn't expect. She had the truth, and she had nothing left to lose. Malik put his hand on her shoulder. Remember what I taught you. You're not just defending your father. You're exposing a system. They'll fight back hard, but you've already won just by standing up. I need to actually win, though. Then let's go take his kingdom. The courthouse doors opened. Time to walk into the arena. The courtroom doors opened. Every head turned. Zara walked down the center aisle, Malik beside her. The gallery was packed. Reporters in back, neighbors who'd stopped speaking to her, all staring. Whispers erupted. That's the daughter? She's really defending him? This is embarrassing. District Attorney Rebecca Carter sat at the prosecution table. Early 40s, sharp suit, sharper eyes. She glanced at Zara and smirked, leaned to her assistant. 20 minutes, this'll be over. Marcus was brought in, orange jumpsuit, hands cuffed. He saw Zara and his face crumpled, mouthed, "You can still stop this." She shook her head. "All rise." Judge Harrison entered. Black robe, silver hair is perfect. He moved like a man who'd never been questioned. "Court is in session. State versus Marcus Williams." He glanced at the defense table. Double take. Eyes narrowed. "Counselor Porter, why is there a child at your table?" Porter stood. "Your Honor, I've been replaced. Ms. Williams will represent the defendant under State Bar Rule 3.03 with Professor Malik as advisor." Harrison's face darkened. "Absolutely not. Ms. Williams is a minor and unqualified." Zara stood, legs weak but voice steady. "Your Honor, State Bar Rule 3.03 permits law students under supervision to provide limited representation for family. Section 4B allows for extraordinary circumstances where representation is otherwise denied. My father's public defender has 87 cases and recommended alternative representation." Harrison leaned forward. "Professor Malik is disbarred." "For civil rights advocacy, Your Honor, not dishonesty. State bar guidelines allow disbarred attorneys as consulting advisors in limited representation, provided they don't address the court directly. I'm within the law." Murmurs swept the gallery. Chen stood. "Your Honor, this is mockery. A child playing lawyer. We shouldn't allow this circus." Zara turned to her. "I'm 16, Ms. Carter." "The same age Claudette Colvin was when she challenged bus segregation. Age doesn't determine justice." Applause erupted. Harrison slammed his gavel. "Order! Ms. Williams, that was inappropriate." "I apologize, Your Honor. I'm establishing my legal standing. I know the statute. I can still deny this if it's not in the defendant's best interest." Malik whispered to Zara. She straightened. "Your Honor, if you deny my representation, I'll file an immediate appeal citing Sixth Amendment denial of counsel. That requires a stay of proceedings, delaying trial 6 months. My father remains in custody. My family loses our home." Harrison's jaw tightened. Temple muscle twitched. Silence stretched. "Fine. But one misstep, Ms. Williams, and you're removed and held in contempt, understood?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Ms. Carter, opening statement." Chen walked to the jury with practiced confidence. "Ladies and gentlemen, this case is simple. 3 stolen vehicles worth $62,000 were recovered from the defendant's shop. VINs matched police reports. Mr. Williams claims legal purchase but has no receipts, no documentation, and the seller vanished." She showed photographs. 3 cars. VINs highlighted. "The defense will confuse you with conspiracy theories, but the facts are clear. Defendant possessed stolen property. That's sufficient for conviction. Find Marcus Williams guilty." She sat. Harrison looked at Zara. "Ms. Williams, your opening." Zara walked to the jury. 12 faces. Some are skeptical. Some are curious. Some are dismissive. She breathed. "My father is a mechanic. 20 years serving this community. Fixed cars for single mothers who couldn't afford dealerships. Helped elderly neighbors. Never a complaint. Never a lawsuit. Never accused of dishonesty." Pause. 3 months ago, he bought 3 vehicles at a county auction through licensed broker Robert Jackson. Received title transfers, paid fair value with documented bank transactions, registered with DMV. She showed auction receipts on a poster board. Then weeks later, those same vehicles were reported stolen, not before he bought them, after. Let it sink in. The question isn't whether my father possessed reported stolen vehicles. The question is, were they stolen when he bought them? If not, who reported them stolen afterward? And why? Jurors leaned forward. Prosecution wants you to believe my father's a criminal. I'll show you he's a victim. The real criminals framed him. Harrison cut in. Ms. Williams' accusations require evidence, which I'll provide, Your Honor. I'm outlining defense theory, which is my right. Harrison looked annoyed but silent. Zara returned to her seat. Chen called her first witness. The state calls Officer Davis. A uniformed officer took the stand. White, 30s, nervous. Chen asked, Officer Davis, when were these vehicles reported stolen? June 15th, July 2nd, and July 20th. And when will it recover? August 10th at the defendant's shop. Thank you. No further questions. Harrison looked at Zara. Cross-examination? Zara stood, walked to the witness stand. Officer Davis, did you verify theft reports against DMV registration records? Davis shifted. That's not my job. I take reports. So you don't know if these vehicles were registered to new owners between theft date and recovery? No. You just wrote down what people told you? Yes. No further questions. Chen called her second witness. Mrs. Yang, the first theft victim. An older Asian woman took the stand. Mrs. Yang, when did you discover your vehicle missing? June 14th, parked at the mall. When I came back, gone. Did you see it again? Yes, at his shop. She pointed at Marcus. That's my car. Thank you. Zara stood for cross. Mrs. Yang, you received your insurance payout? Yes, $18,000. Did insurance take possession after recovery? Yes. So you no longer own it? Well, no, but thank you. The pattern continued. Witness after witness. Carter built her case. Zara chipped away at certainties. Then Carter called Detective Brennan. The courtroom tension spiked. Brennan walked to the stand. Confident, smug, white, mid-40s, cold eyes. He was sworn in. This was the moment everything would change. Detective Brennan settled into the witness chair, relaxed, confident. That same smirk from arrest day. D.A. Carter approached warmly. Detective Brennan, how long with the police force? 18 years. You lead the auto theft task force? Correct. How did you identify the defendant's involvement? Brennan turned to the jury, voice smooth. Anonymous tip about suspicious activity at Williams Auto Repair. I cross-referenced VINs with our stolen vehicle database. 3 matches. Got a warrant. Recovered the property. Thank you, Detective. Harrison looked at Zara. Cross-examination? Zara stood, mouth dry. Detective Brennan, who gave the anonymous tip? Can't disclose. Confidential informant. Was it Robert Jackson? Chen shot up. Objection. Speculation. Sustained. Stay within bounds, Ms. Williams. Zara shifted. When did you execute the search warrant? August 10th. Vehicles reported stolen June 15th, July 2nd, July 20th? Correct. That's 26, 39, and 51 days. Why wait so long? Building a comprehensive case. Or the vehicles weren't there yet? Objection. Sustained. Ask questions, don't testify. Zara pulled a document. Detective, Defense Exhibit D shows county auction records. These VINs sold May 30th, 16 days before the first theft report. Explain that. Brennan paused. Auction records can be forged. By the county clerk? Criminals are sophisticated. Or someone filed false reports to frame innocent buyers? Objection, harassment. Sustained. Move on, Ms. Williams. Zara looked at her notes. Detective, do you know Robert Jackson? May have encountered him professionally. He worked at a police impound until 9 months ago? I believe so. Fired for inventory discrepancies? Chen stood. Objection. Relevance. I'm establishing the credibility of the man who sold my father these vehicles. Harrison paused. Overruled. Answer. Brennan's jaw tightened. Yes, there were issues. Zara showed a photograph. Brennan and Jackson at an event, smiling, drinks in hand. This is you and Jackson at a police union fundraiser. You know him personally? We're colleagues. That doesn't... Did you investigate Jackson when vehicles were reported stolen after he sold them? He wasn't a suspect. Why not? He had access to impounded vehicles, history of inventory theft, sold cars later reported stolen. Not suspicious? Brennan's face reddened. We follow evidence. Evidence led to your father. Or evidence was manufactured to protect someone else? Objection! Harrison's voice boomed. Ms. Williams, you're close to contempt. Make your point or sit down. Zara's heart pounded. Detective, how many auto theft cases have you prosecuted here in 3 years? I don't keep count. 41 cases. How many are assigned to this courtroom? I don't control assignments. 39 out of 41, 95%. Statistically unusual? Chen jumped up. Objection. Court docket management isn't on trial. Harrison leaned forward, face dark red. Ms. Williams, what is your point? Your Honor, I'm establishing a pattern suggesting you're establishing nothing. Move on or I hold you in contempt. Dead silence. Malik whispered urgently. Zara looked at Harrison, at Brennan, at the jury. Say it or stay silent forever. Your Honor, may I approach? No. Then I enter into evidence campaign finance disclosures showing $340,000 from the police union to Judge Harrison immediately preceding this auto theft crackdown. The courtroom exploded, shouting, gasping, phones out. Harrison shot up. Enough! Bailiff, remove Ms. Williams immediately! Zara raised her voice. I'm exercising my client's Sixth Amendment right to expose corruption. You're in contempt, bailiff! The bailiff moved toward her. Marcus stood, chains rattling. Your Honor, please, don't punish her. Gallery erupted. Let her speak. Let her finish. Malik stood. Judge Harrison, you can silence her, but the record exists. 41 cases, 39 convictions, campaign donations. The pattern is real. Harrison pointed at Malik. You're disbarred. Sit down or join her. The bailiff reached Zara. She looked at the jury. The timeline doesn't work. Cars sold before reported stolen. Jackson set him up, Brennan covered it, and this court profited. Harrison slammed his gavel. Recess! Jury dismissed until 9 a.m. tomorrow. Chaos everywhere. Zara was led to the side door. She caught her father's eyes. He was crying. She mouthed, Trust me. The door closed. She was taken to a holding cell. Concrete walls, metal bench, fluorescent buzz. She sat alone in silence. Had she just destroyed everything? Lost the case? Guaranteed her father's conviction? Or had she done the only thing that mattered? Told the truth. 30 minutes later, Malik appeared outside the cell bars. You did it, he said quietly. You put it on record. Even if Harrison buries it, the transcript exists. The reporters heard, the jury heard. Did I guarantee Dad goes to prison? No. You guaranteed they can't hide anymore. Porter appeared behind Malik. Zara. 3 reporters were in that gallery. This story goes public tonight. By morning, everyone will know. She looked at them through the bars. What happens now? Now, Malik said, we see if truth is stronger than power. Outside, the sun was setting. Tomorrow would decide everything. Zara was released from holding at midnight. No charges yet. Harrison deciding. Outside, 50 people waited. Signs, candles. Justice for Marcus. Let her speak. Strangers, her community. standing in the cold. Her phone buzzed all night. Social media is exploding, video clips from court. Her voice. This court profited from it. Hashtag trending. Hashtag justice for Marcus. By dawn, news vans surrounded the courthouse. Zara arrived at 8 a.m. Crowd tripled. Reporters pushed microphones. Do you stand by your accusations? She kept walking, Malik beside her. The courtroom was packed beyond capacity. People against walls. Chen looked tense, kept checking her phone. Marcus brought in, pride and terror in his eyes. All rise. Harrison entered, older, tired, angry. Court is in session. Heavy silence. Harrison stared at Zara. Ms. Williams, I should hold you in contempt. Should ban you from this courthouse. Should fine you. Pause. But I won't. I've reviewed your evidence. 3 State Bar Ethics Committee members called last night. I will not have this court accused of suppressing truth. The courtroom held breath. Continue your cross-examination, and I warn both sides no further disruptions. He gestured. Bring the jury. 12 jurors filed in. Alert, engaged, suspicious. Brennan recalled standing, less confident, sweating. Zara stood. Detective Brennan, yesterday we established you know Robert Jackson personally. Attended social events together? Yes. After Jackson was fired for stealing vehicles, you maintained contact? Pause. Occasionally. Did he offer to sell you vehicles? I don't recall. You don't recall if your friend was fired for stealing cars offered to sell you cars? I meet many people. Zara pulled a document. This is your bank statement from Discovery. June 1st, you deposited $15,000 cash. Where'd that come from? Brennan's face reddened. Personal finances aren't relevant. Your Honor, I'm establishing a motive for filing false reports. Harrison nodded. Answer, Detective. A loan. From my family. Which family member? My brother. Your brother's name? Hesitation. Robert. Murmurs erupted. Robert Brennan or Robert Jackson? Silence. Different people. Are they? I have evidence Robert Jackson used multiple surnames, including Brennan. Is Robert Jackson your brother? Chen stood. Your Honor, if this continues, the state requests recess to investigate prosecutorial issues. Harrison looked at her, at Brennan, at the jury. Recess granted. 30 minutes. 30 minutes later. Chen stood. My voice is different, quieter, shaken. Your Honor, the state reviewed additional evidence from defense. We conducted a preliminary internal investigation into Detective Brennan's handling of this and related cases. Pause. The state moves to dismiss all charges against Marcus Williams. We've discovered irregularities in vehicle identification and evidence suggesting vehicles were legally purchased and subsequently misidentified through investigative errors. Courtroom exploded. Harrison slammed gavel. Order! Marcus grabbed Zara's hand, tears streaming. Detective Brennan's investigation? Harrison asked. Chen looked uncomfortable. Under internal review, Your Honor. Motion granted. Mr. Williams, you're free. Charges dismissed with prejudice. Gavel slammed. Bailiff unlocked Marcus's handcuffs. He pulled Zara into his arms, both sobbing, but Zara pulled back. Your Honor, may I address the court? Harrison looked surprised. Ms. Williams, you've won. Your father's free. My father isn't the only victim. 41 families deserve justice. I request the court order an independent review of all auto theft cases prosecuted by Detective Brennan in the past 3 years. Silence. Harrison stared at this 16-year-old girl who'd beaten his system. Long pause. Granted. The court will order a full independent review. He looked at her. Something shifted in his face. Ms. Williams, you've shown more courage and integrity than many lawyers I've seen in 30 years. Your father is fortunate. Not an apology, but acknowledgement. Court adjourned. Final gavel. Marcus held Zara tight. Khalil ran down the aisle, jumped into their arms. Malik stood watching, tears in his eyes. Outside on courthouse steps, reporters swarmed. How does it feel? What's next for you? Zara, exhausted, looked at the cameras. My dad's free, that's all that matters. Will you pursue law? She looked at Malik. Yeah, I think I will. Marcus joined her. I need to reopen my shop. My daughter needs college tuition. He smiled through tears. Khalil held his inhaler, breathing easy. Did we win? Zara lifted him. Yeah, baby. We won. Porter approached. Zara, Harvard Law, called me. They saw the coverage. They want to talk about early admission. Malik put his arm around her shoulder. You reminded me why I became a lawyer. Thank you. The crowd cheered. Community members who doubted them now celebrating. Mrs. Patterson pushed through, crying, I'm sorry, baby, I'm so sorry I doubted. Zara hugged her. It's okay. Mr. Carter from the store approached with a bag. Khalil's medication. On the house, forever. The sun broke through the clouds. Zara, Marcus, and Khalil walked down courthouse steps together. The camera pulled back, showing the crowd, the community, all watching. A family restored. A system exposed. A girl who refused to be silent. Justice, imperfect and hard-won, had prevailed. 6 months later. Williams & Son Auto Repair had a new sign. Fresh paint. Williams and Daughter Legal Auto Repair in bold letters. Underneath, fair prices, honest work, justice guaranteed. Grand reopening day. The neighborhood gathered. Balloons, music, food tables set up in the parking lot. Marcus stood at the shop entrance, overwhelmed. The same neighbors who'd crossed the street to avoid him now lined up to shake his hand. Welcome back, Marcus. We're sorry we doubted you. Proud of what your daughter did. Mr. Carter brought trays of food from his restaurant. No charge. Never again will I doubt the Williams family. Mrs. Patterson hugged Marcus tight. I'm ashamed of how I acted. Forgive an old woman for being a fool. Marcus's voice was thick. Nothing to forgive. We're all human. Inside the shop, the walls told a new story. Framed newspaper articles. Teen lawyer exposes corruption in local court. 23 wrongful convictions overturned after Williams case. Judge Harrison announces retirement amid ethics investigation. Detective Brennan arrested on fraud charges. Robert Jackson extradited, faces 15 counts. The system had been forced to answer. Malik stood examining the articles, hands in pockets. Zara joined him. You did this, he said quietly. We did this. No. I taught you the procedure. You had the courage. On the shop counter sat Zara's Harvard Law acceptance letter. Early admission. Full scholarship. They'd called it Extraordinary Circumstances Admission for applicants who've demonstrated exceptional commitment to justice. Jasmine approached, nervous. Zara, I know I wasn't there when you needed me. I was scared and selfish and... Zara hugged her. You're here now. That's what matters. Principal Hendricks arrived, looking uncomfortable. He handed Zara an envelope. Your recommendation letter. I wrote it 6 months ago. I'm sorry I let fear guide me instead of integrity. Zara took it. Thank you, Mr. Hendricks. Khalil ran through the crowd, breathing easy. No more wheezing. Health insurance reinstated, medication covered. He wore a t-shirt that said, My sister's a hero. He tugged Zara's sleeve. Can I tell people the story? Which part? The part where you made the mean judge be quiet. She laughed. Sure, baby. A news van pulled up. The reporter who'd covered the trial approached. Ms. Williams, can we get a statement? You've become something of a symbol. Young people across the country are talking about your case. Zara looked at her father, at Malik, at her community. I'm not a symbol. I'm just a daughter who fought for her dad. But if people take anything from this, I hope it's that the system only works when we force it to. When we refuse to be silent. When we demand justice instead of accepting injustice. The reporter smiled. Harvard Law is lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have Harvard, and luckier to have my family. As the sun set, the crowd thinned. Marcus locked up the shop. The four of them stood together. Marcus, Zara, Khalil, and Malik. You know what your mama would say right now? Marcus asked. What? I told you so. He laughed through tears. She always said you'd change the world. I just changed our world, Dad. That's how it starts. Malik handed Zara a wrapped package. Open it. Inside was a leather briefcase. Expensive. Engraved, Zara Williams, Esquernola, soon. Every lawyer needs one. Yours was held together with duct tape. She hugged him. Thank you. For everything. Thank you for reminding an old man why the fight matters. They walked home together as streetlights flickered on. Past Mrs. Patterson's porch where she waved from her rocker. Past Mr. Carter's store where he'd left a sign. Welcome home, Williams family. Past the library where Ms. Rodriguez had taped newspaper articles in the window. Their neighborhood. Their home. Changed because one girl refused to accept defeat. At their apartment door, Marcus stopped. Zara, I need to say something. I spent 3 days in that jail thinking my life was over. Thinking I'd failed you and Khalil. Thinking I'd lost everything your mama and I built. His voice broke. But you didn't give up on me. You fought when everyone said quit. You stood when everyone said sit. You spoke when everyone said be silent. He held her face in his calloused mechanic's hands. I'm proud to be your father. And I promise, every day for the rest of my life, I'll work to deserve the gift you gave me. Zara couldn't speak, just held him. Khalil squeezed between them. Group hug! They stood there, the three of them, holding each other in the doorway. A family that had been broken, now whole again. That night, Zara sat in her bedroom. 6 months ago, she'd researched here desperately, trying to save her father with nothing but hope. Now everything was different. Harvard acceptance letter on the wall, Malik's briefcase on her desk. Her mother's blazer fitted perfectly. She held a photo of her mother in the hospital bed, smiling weakly. We did it, Mama. Marcus appeared. Ready for Harvard? Scared. Good. Fear means you care. He handed her a worn book. Your mama's law textbook, from when she dreamed of being a lawyer. Inside her mother's handwriting, the law isn't just words, it's a weapon. In the right hands, it can free anyone. Tears fell. Khalil ran in. People are talking about you online. Comments everywhere. She inspired me to apply to law school. I was giving up. Then I saw her story. My daughter wants to be a lawyer now. Zara looked out her window. Same streets, different world. One person standing up had changed everything. She thought about 41 families getting justice. Mothers seeing sons freed. The system was forced to answer. About Malik's last fight. Her father is sleeping free. Khalil breathing easy. About everyone watching who felt powerless. Everyone was told to be quiet. Zara Williams was 16 when she proved the truth doesn't need permission. Justice doesn't care about age or race or power. It only needs courage. Sometimes all it takes is one person saying, "Not today." She opened her laptop. How to prepare for Harvard Law School. Smiled. Her mother was right. She would change the world. This was just the beginning. Have you ever fought for what's right when everyone said quit? Zara did. 16 years old, 3 days, pure courage. She won because she refused to accept that justice belongs only to the powerful. Your fight might not be courtroom, maybe work, school, community, same principle. Truth doesn't need permission. Justice needs someone willing to stand. What injustice will you challenge? Share your story below. When did you fight for right? If this inspired you, share it. Someone needs to hear it. Like if you believe justice is worth fighting for. Subscribe for more stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Remember, you're more powerful than systems designed to silence you. Be brave enough to use that power. The world waits for your voice. What will you say? What will